still got a few people joining us, so I'll continue to welcome people as they come through as well. But thanks for everybody for joining us this morning. I hope everybody's got a warm cuppa in their hands. It's a bit fresh this morning, and I'm sure a lot cooler in some of the locations you guys are based at. For those of you who haven't met me yet, I'm Kathy Ramsey. I'm the Partnerships Manager here at TIXA. So yeah, I've been with the company since October last year. A quick bit of housekeeping, probably just before we start off today's session. Feel free to everybody, I'd love to invite everybody to use the chat function to field any questions. We'll continue if everybody could keep the mute, their voice function muted, just to help with the connectivity and to allow the session to run smoothly. Because we're anticipating about 90 people on board with us today, so there's quite a lot of you, which is wonderful. I'll endeavour to work through all the questions as we work through the session today with Dougal. So I'm so pleased to have Dougal McFuzzlebutt from RAA join us today. So we all know the name might sound a bit silly, and that's a whole nother story, which I'm sure Dougal would love to share over a one-on-one one day with you. But he does have a very diverse work history stemming over the past 25 years, which has currently seen him in the role of travel product manager, experience SA with the RAA Group. So I'd like to welcome Dougal. He's going to share this fabulous opportunity of the Experience SA Supplier platform to you all. So welcome, Dougal. Thank you.
Thanks, Kathy. Appreciate that. Welcome, everyone. I'm excited to be here this morning to go through, I suppose, what RAA has to offer. And, I know that a lot of people have probably seen a lot more of RAA within the travel side lately. A lot of people don't realise that we've actually been doing travel for 62 years. We were the first travel agents in South Australia, and of recent times we've really, I suppose, lifted what we're doing within the business, and travel has now become the third pillar of RAA as well. So I don't need to ever speak too much about what RAA does. I think most people on here are probably members of RAA. Makes it very easy to talk about what we now do. But I think the big part is understanding what we do from a travel perspective. So that's what I'll be going through today, and especially the fact of where we are at the moment. It's obviously been very strange times to what we're used to within the tourism industry, and we're certainly doing our best to help as many local businesses as possible. But the big side for me is working for a local company, knowing that our money that is made through the program stays right here in South Australia and goes back into not only the tourism industry, but also things like advocating for safer roads and other projects that we're part of within the state. We're very proud and passionate parochial people, and for me, knowing that the money is staying here is a very big part of why I joined the company in the first place. What we'll do is we're just going to run through a bit of a slide pack. I'm trying not to make it death by PowerPoint, but I hope it will answer some of your questions about what the program actually is, how you can become part of it, and what it means for you as a business, and what you can hopefully expect to get out of it as well. Now, I'm hoping everyone can see my screen. Just going to turn it into a slideshow.
And guys, as Dougal works through his slideshow, like I mentioned, anything you want, any questions you have, because I'm sure you will have questions, please don't hesitate just to pop it on the group chat and we work through it out, because I'm sure if you're having the question, I'm sure a lot of other people have got the same sort of question as well. So don't hesitate in popping down your thoughts on that chat.
So with what we're doing now, can everyone see that? I'm just I can see it obviously, but I want to make sure everyone else can.
No, we can't see it at the moment.
Okay, just 1 second. Might need to go back and share my screen, I think. Here we go. And now we should have it. Is that a bit better?
No, can't see it yet.
It's saying that it is sharing.
We've got it now, Dougal.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Great, awesome. Good old technology. It takes a bit of time to catch up to what we're wanting to actually do.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we've done so well through this piece, navigating and technology holding up as well for us. Even, you know, we've got 85 people on this call, so that's just fabulous that we
just
can
goes to show we're very adaptable people, and you know, I think times like this just make us understand or change the way that we think and deliver you know, what we're doing, adapt and reinvent sometimes ourselves and our businesses. So we've certainly had to do that as well as a business, and certainly within our travel team. I mean, a lot of our travel does come from the international domestic side. But with the SA side, we've been running this program now for about 5 years. I took it over in about 2 years ago, or just over 2 years ago. And certainly, you know, I'm trying to bring a lot more to our members, and that's the one key thing with our program is our members are number one, but certainly our suppliers are number two. There's no doubt about that. And as I said, most of you are members anyhow, so you're number one and number two, you lucky people. So with the program, it's called Experience SA. It is an online portal that we use to resell product to our members, but it's not just a member-based program anymore. So anyone who wants to book via RAA can do that. And that's one thing I suppose we are finding more is that people are booking us based on our trustworthy brand. We do have a very good brand within South Australia. It's one of the top 5 known brands in market research. So we're very lucky to have a very strong presence out in the market. So we do cover all 12 regions across the state, and that's across accommodation and experiences. I'm currently working with about 530 suppliers that have opted in, and we offer over 3,500 different products within those 12 regions. So we do have a good reach. I'm certainly wanting more. We've grown within the past 2 years from about 218 suppliers. So you can see there is that amazing growth over the period. So, and we're seeing that within our bookings as well, and I'll go through that a bit later. So one of the biggest draw cards for you as a supplier or an operator, tourism operator, is the reach that you can have through us at RAA. We currently have over 750,000 members. So that's looking at over half of South Australia, and generally what you'll find is that the ones we don't have are either too young or potentially they're on their parents' membership. So we have an amazing way of connecting with South Australians, and that's a very important thing at this point in time with travel as well. So we are seeing amazing opportunity and growth from that, making the best out of something that's not that great. As I said, we have become the third pillar of the business. So we do have amazing focus on travel within RAA. It has been there for a while, but now as a dedicated team, we have a dedicated general manager who is running that, who has an extensive travel background as well. So we do have a lot of very experienced staff on board. So on top of that, we have a retail contact centre at Mile End, as well as a 16 shop network across the state. So our ability to connect with our members isn't just through marketing, it's also face-to-face or over the phone, or as you'll find with this program, a very big online presence as well. So we do cater for a lot of different age groups who want a lot of different things in being able to book travel. So I know that the one thing on everyone's lips is always, how much is it going to cost me? So we have a flat fee of 15% commission. We do have some suppliers who provide a higher commission rate of 20, 25, sometimes even 30, 35% commission. And that can be for a variety of different reasons. There is a search priority that we set up in our system. So businesses with higher commission rates do get a higher search priority. We have different uses across different marketing platforms as well, that often the higher commission will get used a bit more frequently, but they are handpicked. So we do try and mix it up and use a variety of different operators based on what we're trying to capture within that marketing. And we'll go into the marketing side a bit later on what we do and how we do it. So the 15% commission is what we start at, and that is more so because we need to obviously cover the marketing costs, but also cover the staffing costs as well. But you can be well assured that that 15% goes straight back into what we're doing to promote the program as well. We don't charge anything, so there's no startup fee, no ongoing fee, no exit fee. So that 15% is the only thing you'll pay, and that's only when we make a booking on your behalf. And the one way I try and get people to think about this is think of it as a winery, let's say, because we all love wine, we're South Australian. If they had a rep that was out on the road and the only time they ever paid that person was when they sold a bottle of wine for that business. So it really is something that you really, the best way to build it into what you're trying to do is think of it as a marketing cost for the business. It may be something that, you know, the more we sell, the more that it costs you, but don't think of it as an expense of that nature. You know, think of it as, well, that's a booking we may not have had otherwise. So that with the commission as well, we look at things and work with businesses. I'm generally out in the regions at least once, if not twice a month. It's been a bit harder of late, but I am starting to get back out there now. But with that, certainly with seasonal things, think of commissions where, you know, maybe during winter you might be a bit quieter, and you might go, right, well, let's put a bit more commission on to try and boost our search priority, but also look at some optional marketing building into that as well. As I said, we have seen a fair bit of growth. We work very closely with the likes of SATC. You would have seen potentially some activity going on recently. So we've had a very big digital campaign from mid-June through to, well, actually it's now ongoing. As of next week, you'll see some new marketing come through, some TVCs and certainly some extension of what we're doing within our own marketing channels as well. And it's just been so well received. You know, we're seeing an amazing uplift in the amount of South Australians that are travelling within South Australia. And that might be because they have had overseas or domestic travel book that's now been cancelled, that they've received a refund on. And so we are seeing some of those bigger trips that people may have had on a bucket list or have been putting off, but always talk about, to the likes of Flinders Ranges, Eyre Peninsula, Kangaroo Island, you know, the ones that I suppose previously people have said, oh, well, you know, I can go to Bali for that price. Well, now they're doing it, and we hope that they continue to do that. And see that South Australia is just such an amazing place to travel. We have so many different landscapes to go and visit, and so many experiences to do, and such a great variety of accommodation to stay in. So we really are a very lucky state.
Oh, that's fabulous, Dougal. And I totally agree. I know a lot of members are, experiencing increased local tourism because of the current situation, but it's our opportunity to put out in the stars the fabulous experiences we've got to offer. Dougal, just taking a couple of back steps to when you were talking about distribution costs and around commissions. Could you explain to our members, because a lot of them would be familiar with working with third-party websites, how your platform differs to a third-party website?
I suppose there's not a lot of differentiation apart from the fact that, we are South Australian, we have local support. I know that one of the biggest things that I've heard from suppliers lately is the fact that trying to get support through some of these overseas online agents has been quite difficult. We've been very lucky at RAA. We haven't had to stand down a single person. We've redeployed some of our travel agents and travel staff into other areas of the business. But one of the great things about that is that we are contactable. We're here. We can help you. We work directly with you to try and make the listing look exactly how you want it or sound exactly how you want it. We have a number of different ways, and we'll get into how we connect in a minute, but we do connect with a variety of different channel managers and booking platforms. But we also introduced last February, not this year, but last year in 2019, for businesses who don't have their own online channel at the moment. We created an on-request option, which is really an introduction into online sales or bookings that we've had really good uptake. We've probably got about 170 suppliers that have taken that on, but quite a few of those have now taken up the opportunity to get their own booking system because they can see that it can work. So we're always looking at ways that we can improve what we do, but we get that a lot from what you tell us as well, what you want, what our members want. So we do definitely listen.
Yeah, fabulous. So Dougal, we're talking, and I don't want to distract from your presentation, but it might be a right time to ask some of these questions. And Damien raised a fabulous one regarding the booking. So could you talk through that sort of booking procedure for us, to people get an idea of how that would look? And obviously there's those two different options you suggested. It depends if they're integrating with a channel manager or not. But could you talk us through that?
Sure. As in the supplier side or the consumer side?
The supplier side.
Sure. So and I think I might get into it. No, that's okay. So with, we work with TXA or Tourism Exchange Australia, or V3, you might also know them as. So depending on what your current booking system or channel manager is, we do connect with, I think there's about 12 different ones, the likes of Res Online, RMS, SiteMinder, Little Hotelier, et cetera, that we can connect you through TXA and receive your live rates and inventory. It's certainly a preferred method. It's a much easier way because those bookings go straight into your booking system. And it means that if you're using dynamic rates, that works on our side. We synchronize every morning at 6 a.m. to receive new rates, etc. But if someone books from your site directly, it means that it's also blanked out on our end, and it takes away that ability for double bookings and issues like that. The on-request side is very much I suppose it's a bit more manual. What will happen is when a consumer books through on-request, it will send you an email advising that X number of people would like to travel on a certain date, and would like to book a certain room type or a certain experience. And at that point, you check your availability and either reply by clicking on accept or on decline. Now, with that, you have 24 hours to either accept or decline. If it hasn't been accepted or declined within that period, it'll automatically decline and notify the member. if you accept, it'll send a notification back to the member, and they'll have 48 hours to make payment, which will then send a booking confirmation, which will provide you with the member's details. We get a lot of questions around why we don't provide the details at the point of the initial request. It's more so, I suppose, we're trying to protect our side of the business as well, just to ensure that people aren't then taking it direct and offering better pricing. You know, we love the fact that our members do book direct with you, and I've had numerous emails and conversations with suppliers saying that they've had a call from a member wanting to book direct, and that's fantastic. We're more than happy for that, but I suppose that's up to the member if they are wanting to do that. We're not here to take business away from you. We're here to help you get new business and more business. I hope that answered that question.
Yeah, thank you, Dougal. That's great. It might be also timely. It'd be interesting to share that that member booking experience too, so our attendees can get both perspectives potentially as well. Would you mind sharing that member booking experience for us, that journey?
Yeah, sure. Well, as I said, we've got 3 methods that we can use with that. So we have, as I said, our online portal, but we also have our shop network, which there's 16 shops, both across Adelaide and regionally, as well as our retail contact centre, who operates 6 days a week. So it really comes down to how the member wants to book. We do have a very diverse range or age group of members, and so some of them do still want that big face-to-face interaction. So our bricks and mortar is very big to us because we know our members want that. But there's times when it might be too cold or too wet, and people don't feel confident in booking online. But with SA, I think that confidence comes from that knowledge of SA as a region, the fact that it is close. So probably about 80 to 85% of our bookings currently do come through the online portal. And then the remaining 15 to 20% goes through our shop and call centre.
Thanks for that. And I just would recommend anybody who is interested in the platform to go onto the RAA website as well, because you can see that travel and perhaps do that booking, see potentially that booking journey from a customer's perspective as well. So what they would see of your product through the RAA platform as well. I would recommend anybody to, if you're interested in utilising this great distribution channel, to go through that journey.
Absolutely. And look, the one thing that I didn't or forgot to mention there was, as I said, we can take bookings from anyone. And the one thing that we launched in March this year was reciprocal rights. And I know that it won't have too much of an effect at the moment, but certainly moving forward, when we are taking more domestic bookings and then international bookings again, we are now also offering the ability to connect with Auto Club members right around Australia and the world and offer them member benefits as well. And that kind of came off the back of our Tasting Australia presenting partnership with them. So, you know, we're very keen to be a big presence in South Australia, and but we also want to connect with other people, broaden our borders as well.
Fabulous.
I might move on to our next slide and keep going. So what are the benefits? I mean, we all want to know how much it's going to cost, but we want to know what the benefits are as well. As I said, we've got the largest membership base in South Australia with over 750,000 members. But it's our marketing channels that really help us connect with those members. And as you'll see on the right there, our SA Motor magazine is one of those magazines it's just absolutely sought after by our members. There was talk at one stage of thinking of getting rid of it, and there was an absolute uproar. And so we have kept it. It's the biggest circulating print magazine in the state, and goes out to about 410,000 households. in the upcoming magazine, which goes out in August, so they do come out quarterly, we actually offered some reduced rate advertising for our supplier partners. So rather than being $3,300 to advertise, we dropped it right down to $1,200 because we did know that obviously with everything that's going on, the cost of advertising is, it's still a necessity, but the cost of advertising is obviously a major expense now, and some businesses do find it harder. With the reach that we have in that magazine, it is a really worthwhile one, and we did see great uptake, and we're hoping that we can continue that moving forward as well. Another offer that we have within that magazine is we generally offer between 4 and 6 South Australian tourism prizes as a competition, and the competitions alone get around 10,000 entries per competition. So when you think of that as a cost per click, or as a way of, I suppose, advertising out to people, it's extremely good. All we ask for is a $500 minimum prize, and that's an RRP prize value as well. So when you think of it as a cost to you, it may be, you know, $200, $300, $400, and especially if you're doing it at a time when you might historically be not as busy. It's a great way to kind of give a bit of boost for your business. So we're almost booked up right until the next magazine, which is in November, the summer magazine.
Dougal, sorry, just to interrupt. The screen doesn't seem, we seem to be having some technical issues, and we're not seeing the screen change from your first cover page.
Okay, that's strange. It is saying that I'm sharing still. Look, I might stop share and try reshare.
Yeah, appreciate everybody's patience and feedback as well. So we're just having some slight technical. Perhaps I jinxed us when I said we were going so well at the beginning of this call.
It does tend to lag a bit the more people that come on, unfortunately.
There we go. That's fabulous. So we're now viewing that what are the benefits screen, so you can, so we're on the same page there. Thank you.
Awesome. So as I said, I suppose moving on from SA Motor, we do have a lot of other things we do. So Travel e-news, we get really good uptake from that. We generally put between 6 and 8 products out. At the moment, we're doing them each fortnight, and that goes out to around about 220,000 subscribers. So the click-through rate on that is generally around 26%, which is absolutely fantastic when you look at it as an industry standard. So once again, another great way to connect out. We do sometimes do them more generically if we're trying to promote a region or a particular, I suppose, category. One of the big ones we put out each year that we get amazing uptake from is in November, which is generally our Thrill Seekers e-news, and certainly I know that Justin out at Barossa Hot Air Ballooning loves it when we put that one out, because he's generally in it and generally gets some amazing bookings from it. So our social media channels, now I'm hoping I'm right, I haven't checked it recently, but we've got over 60,000 Facebook followers, and we're around about the 7,000 on Instagram. Instagram is obviously very photocentric and has had a really good, I suppose, South Australian tourism presence. And on our Facebook, we do have obviously business wide. So there is a lot on there about insurance and car and roadside as well, but we certainly do get a really good presence in posts for our travel business as well. So I believe I've actually still got the Future Work program has collaboration with Interstate and International. So that will be more so around how we can work with them to promote our program to their members. So as I said, we do have that functionality now live, but we want to be able to promote to them if they do have their members coming to SA, how we can do that. And certainly when Tasting Australia comes back in 2021, we want to be working with international auto clubs for anyone who is coming in, because we do see about 12,000 inbound travellers come into the state for Tasting Australia, which is fantastic. So as I said, also we do work very heavily with SATC. We've had some great campaigns over the last couple of years, and keep your eyes out as of next Monday for the new TV commercials that will have RAA branding as well. But we are on their digital side also, and certainly pushing out through our channels within the winter campaign. One of the big ones we've seen that might interest certainly the accommodation operators on here is our winter campaign that we've been running with a number of suppliers in each region. We've found that having a couple of value adds has really resonated well within our members, and we've seen a real good uplift within those. And that can be really simple as offering a free bottle of wine on arrival. And I know some people do that already, but highlighting that as a value add, that people you know, are getting something when they arrive. And I think people are looking for that value for money as well as a traveller at the moment. And I've already gone into the fact that we have a really good retail network to not only support our members in booking, but also to support you if you've got any questions, if you can't get in touch with me, which is a rare thing. I'm generally always available. So moving on, are there any questions there, Kathy, or should we move on to the next slide?
No, I think move on to the next slide, and then I've got a few more questions, but we might just leave it as if, because this is really great, moving through all the marketing benefits of being aligned to you. So we'll just, it's more, my sort of questions are more around functionality. So yeah, let's continue to push on.
Sure. I'm hoping that the screen has actually changed this time for everyone.
It certainly has. Thank you.
Great. So look, this is just a very quick slide. As I said, we have over 750,000 members. That equates to about a 67% household penetration in South Australia, which is absolutely amazing. And with the trustworthy brand that we do have a lot of brand loyalty. And as you can see there, the member satisfaction of around 91%, which is amazing. So we do find that once people come to us, they keep coming back. And we're certainly seeing now across travel with not only local, but with domestic and international, where maybe they had booked elsewhere previously. A lot of those shops may now be shut. So we're finding that we've got our members coming to us wanting to use the credits that they had previously been given, or maybe they had some issues. So it's once again that real trustworthy brand that we have that keeps our members connected to us. So as you can see here, our segments by age, really that higher end. So kind of 35 through to, I won't say grave, but you know, the older age group. We've got that really good penetration through there with the fact that they're more so, I suppose, people that are looking to do their bucket list. They're wanting to travel, but they've got money that they want to spend now on being able to do the things while they can do it as well. So, you know, road trips is a really good one. So being able to connect with those 35 to 64-year-olds who are wanting, or even 74, who are still driving and wanting to do that close to home scenario, we've got that great ability to connect with them. And we're seeing a lot more of those traveling at the moment, which is fantastic. So it's a great opportunity for you to, you know, connect with people and have them visit you in your region and spend money within your region. This goes a bit more into, I suppose, how we break down, not just by age, but this is more so into member segments of lifestyle groups. So we use this a lot within our marketing to, I suppose, for direct marketing, very active within domestic and international to connect to things such as cruises, or certain destinations that might have a better reaction with certain groups. So, you know, looking at active families, that's very much a good one for South Australia, because people with children do travel a lot more on road trips. It's a lot easier to get out with families, whereas, you know, your young professionals probably look more so to do those international trips while they can as well before they do become a family. So we do look at this very much so in our marketing team, break it down into how they do their research and marketing out to members. So we went into this a bit before with SA Motor magazine. As you can see there, it goes out to roughly 410,000 households. Very big reader base for those who are a member who do receive this. It's generally not something that comes in and is thrown out within the first week or month. I certainly go around and I've seen them on people's coffee tables or kitchen benches. They do have a great reader base. So either advertising in here or through the two articles that we put in each edition, we have really good uptake. We also do a lot of member questionnaires when it comes to roadside, etc. So we do find that our members gravitate towards this magazine when it comes out to find out what's happening, to see, you know, get ideas on where to travel. But also, as I said, those competitions that get around 10,000 entries each time are a great way to connect as a business. On top of that, we do our digital side. So with our magazine only being quarterly, we do have a number of articles that go out digitally as well to keep people connected, and that then goes out via e-news. So we do have an SA Motor e-news, I think, going out later this week or early next week. I think it might be the 23rd, in all honesty. So once again, that's around about the 220,000 subscribers, and that e-news is separate and different to what we send out in the SA Travel or other travel e-news that we put out.
And you mentioned, Dougal, there is opportunities for travel suppliers that are on your platform to potentially advertise and tap into marketing within SA Motor or the e-news, the magazine or the e-news, sorry?
Yeah, that's correct. So it's in the magazine. So we did it this time round just to try and get our suppliers connected. So we only offer it to our experienced SA suppliers as a bit of a benefit to being a supplier on our program. And as I said, this time around, instead of being $3,300, it was $1,200 that we dropped the price to, just to support small business, and obviously during a difficult time. All of those spots filled, which is great. And we haven't gone out with the November edition yet. So the August edition will come out around about the 12th of August. It'll start circulating. And then once that's all finished off, then we'll sit down as a travel product and marketing team with the SA Motor team and work through the content for the next edition, and as to whether we'll provide that advertising as well in the next in the November edition, which will be summer.
Awesome. And just sort of keeping on the topic of channels here as well, Dougal, obviously you guys integrate with you know, all your members locally. As a channel, you work exploring relationships with interstate auto associations. A question a member popped up is, do you look to work with, and obviously the South Australian Tourism Commission, do you guys look to work with other third-party websites at all, or you keep yourselves completely unique from that?
Yeah, look, at the moment, we are unique. I mean, we're certainly building each year. So where we go to, who knows? We have looked at some other opportunities, such as TripFuser, which is, I suppose, an international-based agent booking platform. And we have looked at the ability to potentially in the future white label our site across to other automotive memberships as well, or associations. So we never sit still. We're always busy. We're always looking for new opportunity. But at the moment, certainly what we're trying to do is just build on what we offer our members through this platform itself, and looking at how we can improve it. You know, I don't think anything's ever perfect, so we're always looking at what we can do to bring more business in to ourselves, but also to our suppliers.
Yeah, and that's where I would just go on to go to our members. This is a great, it's an opportunity to tap into a unique audience, a user group of audience with RAA, and leverage off that brand recognition RAA have, and look at this as particularly a segment or a channel, just like you would look at a third-party website as another channel. That's how I would position it for our members. Dougal, talking obviously, you know, your local retail network is expanding, and I've seen a new retail store open up in my region, so congratulations on that. Do you guys explore and look to do familial opportunities at all for product updates for your agents, and how do you guys you know, look on that side of things?
Absolutely. Funnily enough, we're working on one at the moment with SATC for Clare and Flinders Ranges, because they are a couple of key regions at the moment. And looking at kind of promoting Clare as that gateway to the Flinders as well, rather than going straight up through the centre. So making it as a bit more of a round trip. So the amount of people that tell me that Clare is too far, I still can't believe it. So getting them to understand it's really only about 45 minutes to an hour past the Barossa. So, you know, fair enough, don't do it in a day, but at least book a night's accommodation out there. So absolutely, we take our travel staff out there. So generally, we take some from the retail shop network and some from the RCC, as well as our SA motor team to capture content and photos to create articles. And then I go along as host, and we take one of our marketing team as well. So we have done some in the past. We did a couple with C-Link, who are amazing partners with us. And we did the Murray Princess, we did Monarto Zoo, we did the Bend, and then last year in November we did Kangaroo Island for 3 days, and toured the island, taking in that. And it's amazing the uplift we do see because of the confidence that comes into that retail staff, and the memories they share and stories they share with their team as well. So I think it just creates a bit more confidence. So we're always happy to talk about familials. It's been a bit difficult at the moment with restrictions, but certainly I like to try and think that we can build in 2 familials per year.
Oh, that's great. And so to our participants on the call, I will be flicking out an email at the end of this session to provide any further information anybody wants, and also that connection to Dougal. So if you'd like to, you know, continue to explore the conversation and look at utilising this fabulous platform of Explore SA and tapping into the RAA channel, I will be sending out some further information so you can pick up those conversations.
Great. Now, only a couple of slides to go. We'll keep it very quick and simple. So this kind of goes into a bit more of our marketing reach through a variety of channels on social media. So the figures here speak for themselves. You know, the website traffic, we've seen such a great uplift over the last couple of months. It's been amazing. You know, the people that are coming to our site, and with more and more suppliers coming on board, it's fantastic. We've seen a huge uplift in suppliers to the point that we're now, I suppose, about a week behind in getting people live. We're trying to get through them as quick as possible, but we would do like to make sure that they're all looking good and reading well and fully functional before we set them live. So you can see there, as I said, over 60,000 followers on Facebook. That Instagram following has increased a bit now, along with Twitter. So we do have a dedicated social media team that look after this, and our travel team have actually been helping out a bit with that during COVID as well, just to make it a bit more travel centric. And the e-newsers, as you can see there, we do have an amazing number of subscribers for our e-news. But on top of that, we do have a lot of subscribers who aren't RAA members, which is really great that we've got people coming in from elsewhere, and that may be interstate and overseas as well. So just before I get into how does it work, another channel we have that we haven't mentioned is obviously our great partnership we have with TIXA, and for the past number of years we've actually run the Consumer Choice Award at the Tourism Awards, which is unfortunately not happening this year, but I know that it will be back next year, bigger and better, and everyone's going to be excited to catch up with everyone again. So keep your eyes peeled with that. And one thing we're hoping to look at is how we can work a bit closer with the regions as well. We don't know what that looks like yet. But we are working really closely with TIXA to really make sure that our presence is felt across that awards program. So in relation to how it works, so as I said, we work with a number of different booking systems. If you do have a system and you're not sure whether it does connect, feel free to email either myself or satravel@raa.com.au, and we can actually facilitate the start of communication with TXA to discuss with them on if you can and how you can connect your system. But if you don't, then obviously we can work with you to create an on-request account as well. The beautiful part about that, as I said, with connecting through TXA is that it is that live rates and inventory which connects straight back into your system, providing a far better control mechanism. Apart from that, we are looking, and we have been looking at it for probably about the last year, at a bigger piece of being able to do SA travel vouchers and promo codes within our system. As I said, we never sit still. We're always looking at how we can do things better. So that is still in the pipeline. Obviously, with everything that's gone on recently, we're just trying to keep on moving and keep our members moving. So with the influx of suppliers at the moment, that's our key focus, of getting more and more tourism operators online and connecting with our members. But stay tuned. We will be looking at how we can do that in the future.
Yeah, vouchers sound exciting, and especially an area that people are probably wanting to explore for gift opportunities when, when you potentially even for big celebrations, because we haven't been able to get together like that as well. So no, that vouchers does sound like a great future work. Dougal, question I had, and it was popped up quite early in the group chat, but I just was holding off on it till the right timing, and it feeds into how your platform works. In terms of an operator managing their listing, is that, I'm sort of interpreting that is something that we would an operator would fill out an information and push that through to you guys, because the listings is all sort of branded within the RAA website, so there wouldn't be a functionality for them to manage that in a supplier login portal?
No, yeah, correct. So self-managed, we did look at the opportunity of having that. I think one of the hard things is certainly as a supplier, you've got enough on your plate to manage and have a number of different systems or OTAs that you deal with. And for us to be able to train each new supplier on how to build their listing on our platform, to me, it just didn't seem worthwhile. It would probably take longer for us to train the new suppliers than what it would for us to actually do it ourselves. But anyone who does have a listing on our site can easily contact myself or Holly and request to have photos updated or content updated. As I said, if you're using a booking system such as Resd or RMS or Res Online, etc., that is connected directly, when you update your rates, our rates will update as well. So it is very much an easier way to keep it updated via that. For on request, obviously everything comes through us and we manage the updates on that. It's really more of a usage-based scenario there on why we're doing it. Potentially in the future, absolutely. It's something that we have discussed many a time, and it's something that we are looking forward in future planning.
But I agree, it's the power of having you guys on the end of the phone and being able to have that for a supplier to have a relationship with you directly. That's so important. And simply just not to overcomplicate it sometimes. And that's great that you're really understanding the challenges of suppliers when they're managing multiple distribution networks, especially if they don't have a channel manager and there's not that interface there. I think you're just taking, not complicating it, as I said, for members.
Very true.
Talking about...
Sorry, go on. Okay, I was just going to say last slide. It's a very easy one. How do you get started? I believe that Kathy's actually going to send out all the information that I would normally send out directly to everyone who's participated today. Just providing all of the information that we've had in this pack, as well as who to contact, how to contact. But certainly if you've got any questions, feel free to give me a yell. As I said, my phone's always on. I live and breathe tourism when I'm not cooking, but certainly I'm very much contactable, and I do get calls on weekends. So yeah, look, I love it. I love getting out, even in my own time. I don't feel like I'm ever working, but I don't feel like I'm ever not working. So I love what I do. I'm very passionate about the state. I'm very passionate about travel, and I'm very passionate about what you do in your business as well. So I'm here to help in whatever way I can. I do get calls from people even just asking, what they can do, how they can do it, just to, I suppose, get some ideas from a different perspective as well. I've had a very diverse working career. So, I do love what I do, but coming up with new ideas, I do enjoy as well. So I'm more than happy to just have a chat as well.
Thanks, Dougal. And I know for myself, prior to being here with TIC SA, I was on the supply side of things, and I think it's so lovely to have someone accessible on the end of the phone. Like you said, even if it's simply to bounce off some ideas, like, hey, I'm thinking about, doing this value add. Is that going to get any penetration? It's lovely to have that relationship, particularly with someone, located here in South Australia as well. So a couple of questions I just wanted to quickly feed through before we wrap this up, Dougal, is one question here talking about obviously pricing. Rob mentioned when an RAA member gets a discount on a booking, who absorbs that discount? Is it RAA or is it the accommodation provider? I'm probably going to jump ahead initially and say, well, it probably depends on what that discount is. Is that correct there, Dougal? If that's an increased commission that the supplier is passing on, or
yeah, look, it's probably more so on our end. So as I said, the base rate that we work on is 15%. So if you see a product online that has a 5% discount, that would mean that as RAA, at RAA, we'd be making a 10% commission on that. There are certain times, such as with our winter campaign at the moment, some of the suppliers that are in that campaign have said, right, well, we'll increase our commission by 20%, and that way we can offer a higher rate of discount. So a big thing that resonates with a lot of people is that discount percentage. So, there are times when people say, oh, well, I'll just drop my rates. But what I try and get across there is what you'd be better off doing. People don't know what the rates were yesterday if they hadn't been on the site versus today. So quite often, by not changing your physical rate, but actually offering a higher rate of commission, we can offer a higher rate of discount, and people see that it's a higher discount. So it actually does resonate well, and we've seen it work time and time again. And we're always happy to have that discussion. And it might only be for the fact that it's a month, but certainly that discount amount that we pass on to our members comes out of our commission.
Thanks for that. That's a great explanation, and I agree with you. It's not always about dropping that base rate. You've got to look at the visibility from that consumer end, and that discount is quite lucrative on a consumer side of things when they see that positioning. Just a quick question in regards to Res Online. When obviously a lot of people supply photos and content to you, can do it direct, but can it also feed through to you from TXA or TXA V3?
Yeah, certainly it can. We do initially hope that they come through that way. It does make it a bit easier to set up an account. But if you want to update them, we always ask for high res. The problem with sometimes getting them through booking systems and channel managers is that we don't get real high resolution. For us to be able to use any photos or any product within a particular campaign, such as e-news, etc., we need to have a certain resolution and size file to even be able to include that. So if you have had a recent photo shoot, and I know that there are quite a few suppliers that took the time to upgrade photos during that period, we're happy to update that for you. Feel free to put it through your channel manager as well, so that it should filter through. But go back and check what we've got online, because if we've previously overridden the photos, that means that override will still be in effect. I hope that makes sense. So basically, if you feed in new photos, the override will still be the one that's affected. So please have a look at your listing on our site and let us know if there's anything that we can do to update it.
Oh, that's great. Thanks, Dougal. And the one last area I just wanted to really talk about and just pick your brain on a little bit is about the market and that RAA consumer. Is it like typically, luxury or budget? What sort of products or experiences are currently in demand?
Yeah, look, it's a really good mix that we have. As you can probably tell, with 750,000 odd members, it's never going to be pigeonholed into one segment, and hence why we do break them out into a variety of segments, so that we can then offer a great range of products to suit everyone's needs. So we've got, the likes of motels that are a bit cheaper, that might suit a family that, don't travel as often, to people who are trying to tick off their bucket list and want to travel out to, the Riverland or Flinders or KI and want that real high-end experience that they're doing with their friends, or they're taking their family, or, it's just a really diverse range of products that we sell that get booked. At the moment, we are finding that our winter specials are going absolutely gangbusters. So some of those include Stay 3, Pay 2, which equates to a 30% discount. And once again, going back to that whole commission versus discount, we structured that to be a 30% discount rather than a reduction in rates, because that resonation it has of being a higher discount value, and it has just worked so well. So as an idea, look, we actually had feedback from SATC when Brent Hill was up at Rawnsley Park, and he was asking the manager, David, up there how it was all going. And David said, it's been going so well that RAA have pretty much booked us out until the end of the season. So, you know,
that's fabulous.
We're very proud of that. And, you know, we just want to continue that. And they've just been blown away with the response. So we are finding at the moment that South Australians are probably travelling further than what they normally would, because, you know, potentially they are having to use their annual leave, where a lot of businesses are asking their employees to, you know, reduce the amount of annual leave they have on hand. So people do have the time to take that week worth of travel, where previously it might have been to closer regions for a weekend getaway.
Yeah, absolutely. And I suppose I want to just touch on really the fact that I agree with you, you know, about South Australians, and Brent Hill and the SA Tourism Commission really touched on this with the Book Them Out campaign. They're fiercely patriotic. We're patriotic about our own state, and this is where it aligns so wonderfully with the RAA brand, and the brand recognition. Well, you said it, it's one of the top 5 recognised brands. That speaks for itself. So we're incredibly grateful of the partnership we have had shared with RAA over the years, particularly with the South Australian Tourism Awards, but to be able to offer and explore these opportunities for our members too, to, you know, potentially seek new distribution opportunities for their business when it is very much focused around South Australia. And then, you know, we're going to we're opening up borders and that moving into interstate travel, but this presents some great opportunities for our members in our industry, and for anybody who is not a part of the RAA and wants to look at this Experience SA platform. It might be a great opportunity for you to pivot your focus in your business if you have been reliant on other channels as well, and other customers, potentially largely overseas customers as well. So I'll use this opportunity to wrap up and thank everybody. We've had some great questions that have come through, and I will continue to connect everybody on this call. I'll flick you out an email and share with you some further information on the Experience SA platform if you'd like to, and then Dougal's details if you'd like to connect with him and pick up the conversation offline. And I just want to thank you, Dougal, for your time today in sharing this opportunity with our members as well. And further, a little message for everybody on the call today. If you're wanting to further explore collaborations, if that's with RAA or even with members and with other product, we have recently launched a forum on our website, on the TIC-SA website. So I'll include details there, and it's just a great opportunity for members to come together. You guys, as our members, have an opportunity to run this forum, but it's a great way for you guys to connect. We have this beautiful conversation that happens through these calls and through the chat function, and it's just a further way for our members just to connect with each other and share information and knowledge as well. So I'll include that on my email to you guys. So thank you, everybody, I hope you all have a really happy Wednesday and the rest of the week. I think the weather might be turning and a bit of sunshine might be starting to creep through the clouds tomorrow and Friday, which will be nice.
Thanks, Kathy. Certainly on behalf of RAA, we really appreciate the opportunity to present to your members and try and connect with them, and we'd love to work with you all and support South Australian tourism.
Great. All right. Thanks, Dougal, and thank you everybody for joining us. We'll see you soon. Take care.